Observational line drawing. So with this observational drawing, you're going to pick something, and this week I want you to pick something out of a magazine. Now I have this magazine right here that I picked. Next week we're going to talk about stuff that is 3D, but when it's 3D you can look at it from all different sides, and this is my cool skeleton head from a deer. So you can look at it from all different sizes, and it changes depending on your point of view. The nice thing about a magazine is that because it's a photograph, somebody has already taken that picture. Now do it from a photograph, do not do it from someone else's drawing. And I want to show you a technique that actually was reminded to me by a student named Mason Mull. Mason, if you're watching this, shout out to you. And the reason why I want to do that is because he used a light color, he actually used a highlighter to do his drawing. And I'm going to show you a technique that you can use a light color first to get your drawing in, and then you can go over it with a darker color like a pen or a pencil. So when you're doing your observation drawing from a magazine, you want to look at shapes first. Where are the shapes? I noticed that this one has an oval shape for the head. I notice oval shapes, different kind of longer, flatter oval shapes for the ears, and actually there's oval shapes in here for the body. So find the big shapes first. And then in this technique, you're going to use a light colored pen to draw. There's my oval shape for my head, oval shape for the ears, and you can see I'm kind of going over and over and over, so I'm not worried about it. Just like if you did the observation line drawing, you shouldn't be worried about going over and over and over something a few times, because you might need to do that to get your lines right. In fact, I did my head a little small, so I went a little bit bigger. I know that this is very light, but I'm going to show you how you can darken it up in a second. Now that I've got my big shapes, I'm looking at my smaller shapes. If I look at the eye, I want to place it, it's kind of in the middle of this oval shaped head, maybe a little to the side. And I notice it's kind of a circle with maybe some points on the side. So there's my circle with points on the side. I'm noticing this nose shape is kind of a triangle. I notice that there's kind of round circular shapes there, so I can put circular shapes on the side. And this is one method of breaking down drawing. I notice a half circle here for the other eye. Breaking down drawing into big shapes. And if you can break them down into big shapes, then you can go into the detail. I notice this part on the inside here, and I can draw that over here. And so once you get the big shapes in, then you can take a darker pencil or pen and go over your shapes. So you can see those are the basic shapes. I did this first and I went over with basic shapes. You can start filling in the texture of different lines. I missed, some of these lines in here, and you can make this look more 3D, but that is the basic shapes. I will continue this drawing and go over it with some shading, and I will discuss how we can do shading and making something look more 3D in the future. But for now, I want you to look at the big shapes, then go over it with lines. Some of your lines can be short, broken lines, some can be dark lines, some can be thick, some can be thin, and we'll talk more about shading next time. I will continue this drawing if you want to see me finish it off. Sometimes if you add a background, it changes how you see the shapes in the foreground. I'm just adding a little watercolor. Now this is copy paper, so it's not the best paper for holding paints or holding pencil. And I could keep going, but some of the techniques that I showed you, I'll show you as we move forward. Some of that is overlapping lines, having fat and thin lines. Some of it is the shading part and blending. I'm blending with my finger here. Some of it is making shapes and adjusting. You know, it's not exactly the same. There's different techniques to do this. And then you can see my lighter colored shapes that I used at the beginning. This is often done before you make a painting, so I could paint on top of that, because you can still see the lighter colors there. I don't mind it, but that's a way to find your shapes first. So today you are, if you're still watching, today you are looking at a picture in a magazine, seeing the big shapes, drawing the big shapes first. If you want, you can go with a lighter color first, drawing the big shapes first, and then adding to it. We'll talk, and this is not finished, but we'll talk about drawing more detail as you move along and get better at drawing while you're at home. Okay, friends, bye.